don't speak of it in a boasting way. I just know where my help comes from. So I am aware of the spiritual warfare that goes on. So I see it. You know, the Jezebel demon is real.
Okay.
And I've seen it. Yeah. So I really believe in all of it. I believe in divine grace. And I never try to force anything on somebody. I always tell Munch, you know, I believe in God and I want you to believe in God, but I want you to find the path of peace that works for you. But you got to believe in something. You ain't just magically appear like Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to believe in something. Find what works for you.
Yes, that's true. Now, what daily practices, if any, do you have to express yourself spiritually? I know you said you meditated and you find that kind of hard, you know, and a lot of people do, because what people have to realize is that, no, you're not going to go into a automatic state of serenity. I mean, it just didn't work like that. Doc, I think you do a lot of meditation.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You know, y'all.
You got to start small and
that.
eventually, yeah. I mean, just like anything, like if you want to run a 5K or whatever,
Yeah.
Start off just running.
You got to work out.
Right.
Because
I walk or whatever.
That it takes about 15 minutes before your mind can even start to set.
Yeah.
So you just, you can, but other than that, what else do you do, if anything, kind of on a daily basis?
I pray. So I do prayer. I'm trying to do meditation. I work out. So to try to release the negativity. And I'm in so many positive support groups on Facebook. And so I have a positive partner. So every day we're sending inspirational quotes to each other and prayers, you know, and then I told her, I was like, I don't know what you're going through, sis, but God put it in my spirit to pray for you and your family today. So we're always encouraging each other. So those are the kind of things that I do spiritually to try to be a blessing to someone. You had this guy tell me, he was like, you really have great energy. I said, my energy is okay. I appreciate that. I said, but I really think it's more of me just wanting to be a better person, you know, and putting out positive energy. I think that if I spend all my time thinking about the negative, it's going to affect me. So I try to I need to read something positive. So I pray, I read my devotionals. That was one of the things Mr. C and I, that's what made me fall for him. I mean, because I was going through it with my ex-husband and we were working out and I just had so much anger and stress. And he said, I got you something. I was like, what? So after we worked out one day, he had a book of devotionals. And he said, you know, I want to encourage your spirit. And he was like, because you're going through stuff. And sometimes I don't have the words, but I want God's words to sort of settle in your spirit and for you to get into a better situation with your energy. And I was like, okay. You know, man, that's in the Bible.
Exactly. Okay.
Emotional. You worried about my spirituality.
Right.
So that was one of the things. So I do read that. I go back to it. I actually have devotionals and a Bible on my desk in the office, and I put myself like, okay, I need a minute. And I shut my door and I close it down and I put on some meditation on my phone and I just need to pray because sometimes it just gets that way.
I think you present very, very well, and your audience knows you very well. Your readers know you. You're so honest and so bold, and I think that's great. Like I said, you know what you require, and I think that is something a lot of women that I work with don't identify with. They don't know what they want. They know pain, and they know about not getting what they want or having their dreams realized. I think like you said, you're working a work in progress. We all are. And we are seeking grace and peace and love and protection and provision. So I think that is amazing. Thank you for doing this with us.
Oh, no problem.
Can we say more about Munch?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, we wanted to ask about Munch because we've been watching him grow over the years. You know, because he went from when I first started following along, and he was the little pudgy little something, and
yeah,
he started. I'm like, wait a minute, he getting to be a big boy.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Well, I was saying to Michelle, selfish babe. I just discovered that they send me positive affirmations all throughout the day to remind me how badass I am. So definitely, that really helps me. I was just told me about it and I'm like, oh, I get it. It's like, girl, you bad. That's the way you are. You right. Do things that don't affect you. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So it reminds me of that.
Wonderful.
Munch is amazing. I mean, I tell people all the time, I say, you know, I recognize God's grace when he allowed me to be his mom. That's probably the only thing my ex-husband and I can agree upon is that our child is freaking amazing. The only thing that we can agree on is that our child is amazing. Well, and that he's ours, that he came from both of us. That's probably the only thing we can agree on. But he's just an incredible little boy. He's inquisitive. He reminds me of just like this older spirit. And I keep trying to find words because I struggle because I do positive parenting. So I don't spank. Right. So what that is I do not spank. I grew up getting spanked. I got the switch, I got the belt, I got the shoe, I got a extension cord, I had it all. Yeah. Okay, and everybody said, but you turned out fine. No. Just, this is God's grace on me. Yeah. That doesn't mean I'm okay because you see me standing. Yeah. But I didn't want that for him. I wanted to love him so deep that I didn't need to put my hands on him. I didn't need to break him down emotionally. I needed him to understand that, we can talk about this. I may not change my mind on my disappointment in the situation, but I'm going to allow you a voice to express your concerns. Yeah. So he had sort of gravitated towards that. He doesn't like violence. So he's very like, Mommy, I was upset when you did X, Y, and Z. Okay, I'm sorry you were upset, but you did X, Y, and Z, and this was the outcome of that. In my situation, in my belief is it's that you will learn a lesson from this. So he's very, he's amazing.
He gave us the honey buns, child. So
when Nikki, my best friend, gave him them honey buns, and he just said, Mommy, I discovered these great things. Do you think you could get some? I'm like, what are they? They're called honey buns. I was like, what? You gave my baby sugar like that? I mean, it was sugar. I'm not one of these parents that says you can't give him sugar, but I was like, honey bun is just pure sugar. You can't give him that.
Hunter never had a honey bun.
He hasn't for me in a long time. So I'm trying to do little things. So I do rewards. But since I've decided, I was like, listen, we need to both slim down. We need to get healthier. And so we're starting to walk. But he's at the stage where kids, are bullying, and they're just really not bullying. They're being mean because, Munch will defend himself in a lot of situations. And I always tell him, a wise man uses his words, a fool uses his hands. Your hands should be a last resort. I need you to make sure that you're able to tell somebody, this is not nice, you need to leave me alone. And you don't have to hit them. But he said, like one girl said to him, oh, your parents got a divorce because you're fat.
What?
Yeah. And, he's in 5th grade. And I'm like, honey, we're a little chunky. I said, but you know what? When the weather gets better, we're going to work it off. I said, but you know what? Those nasty people, you don't have to worry about it. And I was like, I'm trying to teach him how to, I'm trying to teach him.
Just don't worry about it.
I told him,
let me tell you what to tell it. What's her name? Mary.
Chicago.
I'm trying, y'all, because I don't want him to be the bully.
Oh, okay.
Because like in that little girl said, in a situation where one of his friends had an issue with another kid in aftercare, Munch goes and tells the little boy, you're gay.
Good.
And so the little boy was really upset. And so we had a long conversation about homosexuality and how you're now going to be a bully because kids are committing suicide over being called gay. You're not going to be that young man doing that. There's nothing wrong if someone is gay. We do not judge anyone. That is, that is not what you signed up for when you decided at 7 that you want to follow Christ. You cannot become the bully. I said those words seek to tear somebody down. You have to find ways to empower people. That had nothing to do with you. Not your monkey, not your circus. That was between your friend and him.
There's a lot going on in the 5th grade.
Your 5th grade is rough. The 5th grade is rough. My friend said to me, he said, you ain't got nothing. Unless you tell me Munch is out here selling drugs, he's the biggest drug dealer around town, you're not a good kid. But he's still very innocent. And so I'm very thankful for that.
Out, honey, don't worry about it.
but it was cute. He was saying his penis hurt, and I'm like, oh my God. I was like, is everything okay? Did someone touch you? Talk to mommy. We don't keep secrets. And he's like, no, mommy. And I'm like, okay. And he said, I just want to talk to daddy. I got some man stuff to talk about.
Well, what was going on?
There was man stuff. So I called his dad. Didn't even know. No, I called his dad. I said, hey, I'm in the car. you have him on speaker? He said, no. I said, he wants to talk to you. He said about some man stuff. He said, okay. I said, I'm taking you off speaker. So he talked to him. And so I said, I let them know, let them have their conversation. And so he comes into me. I said, Munch, are you okay? Did anything happen? He's like, no, mommy, it's just my penis hurts. He pulls down his pants and says, look at it. I was like, okay. He was like, nothing happened. Nobody touched me. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's growing because I don't have a penis. So I spent a lot of time asking Mr. C, is this normal for boy stuff? Do their penises grow? Is that what causes pain?
That whole thing, I got an older son, call your brother. I don't, but I'm the same way with my daughter because, certain things I grew up with my daughter, she asked questions. I'm trying to be different than how my mom raised me. She just gave me the box of tampons and don't have sex. That was it.
Pretty much.
So when they do this growing pains and things like this, now he pulling the stuff down and showing me, but anytime younger ones have questions about their body parts, that call your brother. He in Virginia, he'll answer because I don't know. And then when they have their conversations, I call the oldest one. I said, they okay? I need to do anything? Doctor, what do we need to do? But they know their bodies, and my whole thing too is, I got 3 boys and 1 daughter. So
maybe the penis growing thing is normal.
Yes, it is, and it does hurt.
I'll Google that.
I didn't know. I was like, it must hurt because he was adamant about it.
I was just wanting to say with Tikeetha, one of the things I really liked about her was when something was going on with Munch, she didn't mind putting it out there and saying, hey, do you guys have any thoughts on this? This is what's going on. I'm just wondering, this is how I handled it. What do you guys think? And I really appreciated that you were able to take whatever the other moms had. And sometimes I'll be like, girl, I got a 25-year-old, please don't sweat that. You know what I'm saying? and I'm sure you've done that, Shell, and you may have too, Doc, although you have girls, but sometimes, I'll see little things that Munch does. And I'm like, I remember when my son was going through that, And so I would just want to tell you, baby, don't worry about that. Because, this too shall pass. You'll barely remember some of that stuff. So just enjoy the whole thing. And I just appreciate you being open-minded to what your followers wanted to say, about and putting it out there for us to have a comment on.
Oh, absolutely. I tell people this is my first, last, and only child. So I have no idea about this parenting thing. And so definitely value everybody's opinion because they may have done things that I may not have ever thought of. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing. You've raised these great functioning adults because that's what we want to get them to. We don't want them to be a sociopath. I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. So am I doing it right? Because the screen time thing, I don't follow that screen time thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He gets more than 2 hours a week on screen time. But I want people to tell me like, that's normal, or no, maybe you should try this. Or they never say it's not normal. They always tell me, okay, you should try this. And that's what I value about the blogging community is because when I ask for this advice, it really is because I don't know. And yes, I could read a book, but the book may or may not be right. Like, let me tell you all a story. When I was pregnant, I had preeclampsia, and I didn't know that, because I read my book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, and told me headaches were normal. So I was like, okay, headaches are normal. Well, I had a headache for about a week. And so I went back to the doctor for my checkup, and he was like, because the doctor was concerned the first time, he was like, well, if anything changes, you don't feel good, I need you to call me, let me know. I said, okay. So I went a whole week with a headache. I go back for my next week checkup, and he said, how are you doing? And I put on at first appointment, I put on 15 pounds. The second appointment, I put on like 20 pounds. It was crazy. And so, my ex at the time was sitting there, he was laughing like, you didn't gain weight. I said, that's too much weight for anybody, even if you're not pregnant, put on in 2 weeks' time. And so the doctor was like, well, how you been feeling? I'm like, I'm okay. I'm just tired of being pregnant. And so he was like, tell him about your headaches. He was like, headaches? You've had headaches? I said, yeah, I've had headaches for a week. Why didn't you call me? I told you to tell me. Because my book, What to Expect When You're Expected, says headaches are normal. So I thought it was normal. Yeah. And he said to me, no, headaches are normal if they go away with Tylenol. Right. If they don't, and you have a consistent headache for a week, that is your body's way of telling you something is wrong. You need to get to a doctor. And I was just like, but the book didn't say that. Yeah. So I don't want to do that with much. I'm not going to always ask the book. So I'm going to ask people to tell me, it's pretty normal.